I'm very excited to be in Hershey, Pennsylvania today, mainly because of what's behind me right there, Hershey Park. But I'm also excited because I'm starting up a new kind of series on this channel called Wandering and Wondering. And basically what this is going to be, I'm going to go to a new town, a new place, explore as I do. That's the wandering part right there. And then I'm also going to be, try to be a lot more introspective, and that's kind of going to be the wondering part. I'm just going to talk about some of my current life thoughts as a young adult, kind of some things that I'm going through, struggles, questions that I have. I just kind of want to say it on camera because I feel like vulnerability is something that I've really struggled with in my life. And, I think it can be good to be at least a little bit vulnerable in your life. And I kind of want to open up more. So yeah, I'm looking forward to making these types of new videos. I'll see how I like it. I'll do a couple and then maybe continue, maybe don't. I don't know. We'll see. So Hershey actually has some other attractions to do in the area besides just the big Hershey Park amusement park. So I'm gonna start off with some other attractions here. We got the Hershey Gardens. This is a botanical garden, and they also have like a butterfly exhibit. I like butterflies, so looking forward to that especially. And the view from the top of the Hershey Gardens is absolutely spectacular. You can see the entirety of the Hershey Park. So it looks like they got a football field or something too. That literally looks like it's inside the park. But yeah, you can literally see down on the whole entire thing from this vantage point. Yes, sir. Made it inside and then walked out to the gardens, and the entrance is nice. You got this fountain. Oh yeah, I recorded it from the other side too. Wanted you to have all the angles. So yeah, did the typical botanical garden thing. I looked at some flowers. I smelled some as well. They all smelled like flowers. There were a ton of different color flowers. Like, what do we got here? We got pink, red, I think some orange, purple, yellow, and then maybe green. I don't know. I'm colorblind. Honestly, it's a huge win that I get to be in a t-shirt and shorts here in April. The winter this year on the East Coast, diabolical. Absolutely diabolical. I feel like I say this every year, but I think this year it had to be the official worst winter I've experienced on the East Coast. But anyways, this made me think about how seasonality really can affect mood, and how, in those winter months, so many people enter like depression and get hit with this massive wave of anxiety and stuff like that. And, I'm very in that same boat. And it's just made me realize, like, why don't we just all move to like Florida or somewhere hot? Like, why do we stay here in these cold places? The seasonality stuff kind of hit me especially hard when I started working, because I would literally go into the office and the sun was just starting to rise. And then when I would leave the office, the sun was down. So I literally had like no time in the sunlight. Like, some days I didn't even get to see stuff like this. And it really does do a number on your mood. Yeah, it isn't even sunny today, but just being comfortable outside in the spring makes us feel like a prime summer day. But continued walking around, saw some nice trees like this one. That was a tall one. Oh yeah, how do you pronounce this? Is it arboretum? I feel like I always see that word. I never know how to pronounce it. This is someone's house, I think. I don't know if that's awesome or if it would suck to live here with all these people walking around. And then, oh yeah, like the color of this tree. It's a rather interesting decision to put a botanical gardens right next to an amusement park. I don't know which one came first, but you'll literally just be enjoying, you hear that? Yeah, you'll just be enjoying the birds chirping, the peace and calm, and then you'll hear Wildcat's Revenge lift hill just going off, and it's like, it's kind of crazy. All right, I already know this is about to be my favorite part of the whole botanical gardens. Japanese tea gardens just bring such a sense of serenity and peace and comfort to me. Like, one of these times I actually got to make some tea, come out to a tea garden and just sit for multiple hours. I feel like that would do wonders for me. Look here. All right, now onto the butterflies. So I walked into this really crowded room, and yeah, all the butterflies, they were kind of just roaming all around us. Some of them were chilling on the plants. Some of them were even eating the plants, maybe. I think that's what that one's doing. They even had fruit laid out for their butterflies, and I don't know why, but I thought this was so funny. Like, I did not think that they ate fruit. Bro, this butterfly needs to kind of chill out. Like, why are you flapping your wings so much? And then there were behemoths of butterflies. Like, look at this guy's wings. That's actually crazy. I followed this one around and I watched it eat. I do not think bro needs more food, but okay. So Hershey Park is connected to another facility called Hershey's Chocolate World, and as you probably guessed, the Hershey Chocolate World is just everything chocolate. I think they have a ton of like things you can try and taste, different desserts. They also have like this free dark ride that tells you about the history of chocolate. So I was like, yeah, I'm definitely gonna do that. But yeah, it's connected to Hershey Park, like I said, so I'm gonna head over there now. So we have entered Chocolate Town. Now, I did not know they had all these facilities grouped into one place called Chocolate Town, but we got the Hershey Park theme park behind me. Over this way is the chocolate world I was talking about, but before I go there, I realized I'm starving and I've barely eaten anything today. So over this way, can't see the name, but they got this restaurant, all right? It's called the Chocolatier. Apparently it has chocolate infused dishes. Just got done with lunch at the Chocolatier. I got the Chocolate Town burger, which comes with obviously the burger meat. You got the thick cut bacon. It's very thick. It's about this thick, really thick stuff. And then you got potato chips, and then they drizzle the chocolate parts. They drizzle a little bit of chocolate syrup on it. And I don't really know how I felt about it. I mean, it was definitely different, and it definitely was not worth the $21 that I paid for it. But you know, it was all right. Now, I didn't get any dessert in the Chocolatier restaurant because I'm waiting for, see it right over there? That's Chocolate World, like I was saying earlier. I'm gonna try to get some sort of dessert or chocolate or something from the official Chocolate World. There's no roller coaster. This place is pretty insane. Anything Jolly Rancher, Kisses, Reese's that you would want, they definitely got it here. Some of these boxes are like $36, $45. You can actually even buy like protein bars. They have a ton of protein powder that's Hershey flavored, I guess. So that's kind of cool to see some other like healthier options here too. All right, it's about that time. I got with me the Hershey's ice cream sundae. Throughout most of my life, I've never been a huge sweets person or desserts person. You know, I'd always, you know, when the dessert menu would come out at dinner, I'd be like, nah, I'm okay. I don't need anything. And yeah, I would barely have any dessert after dinner or stuff like that. You know, even my parents, whenever I'd take like a bite of ice cream after dinner, they'd be like, oh, he's actually having dessert. And the more I've thought about it, the more I've actually come to realize that I actually do like desserts and I actually like sweets, but unfortunately I feel like this performative aspect of myself has kind of held me back from, you know, moderately indulging in some more, I guess, like unhealthy foods. You know, I kind of pride myself on going to the gym, staying in decent shape, and I guess I let that totally cut me off from having or enjoying any sort of sweets or any sort of candy, ice cream, stuff like that. And I always kind of like gaslit myself into thinking like, oh, you actually don't like that. You don't like sweets. It's all too sweet for you. But as I've been, you know, kind of trying to relax a little bit more or enjoy things in moderation a little bit more, I've come to realize that I actually do like sweets, and I was just being very performative around other people and wanted them to think that I didn't like sweets. Because it's quote unquote unhealthy. But I don't know, I've kind of been focused this past year ever since graduating college on trying to just take a deep breath, relax a little more, and just try to enjoy life a little bit more because, you know, who cares, man, if you have a sundae when you're at Hershey's Chocolate World? You never know like how much more time you have on this earth. You might as well indulge, you know, with moderation, of course, but, you know, indulge in things that you like, regardless of what other people are going to think. All right, I'm back inside the Chocolate World. I'm going to do that dark ride that I was talking about inside of Hershey's Chocolate World. And actually, it's free of charge.
First off, I just want to say that this ride had about 20 people working it, which is probably more than any ride at Hershey Park. A little bit of foreshadowing there. But anyways, it was a nice educational ride that takes you through how chocolate is made. It even had some decent animatronics, and you got a chocolate bar at the end. Nice.
For a free attraction, that's pretty good. So my ticket to Hershey Park is actually for tomorrow, but Hershey Park does this thing where the day before your visit, you can have like a preview time, which is 2 hours before the park closes. So that means I get to preview the park for 2 hours today. The park closes at 5 p.m. tonight, so my preview time's at 7-2, which is 5 p.m., which is in about an hour. So, dude, I'm like actually so excited to experience Hershey Park. This is probably the biggest park on my bucket list in the whole entire United States that I haven't done so far. Like 15 roller coasters. It's gonna be so good. Officially into Hershey Park. We got 2 hours of greatness.
Starting off with what a lot of people call the best ride here, Wildcat's Revenge. This is the newest of the thrill coasters here in Hershey Park, and I was hyped watching it in line. Honestly, I waited about an hour for this thing, which I was not expecting. I figured people would go home by the time I got into the park, but of course not.
Just got off of Wildcat's Revenge. That thing is phenomenal. The pacing on that ride is just unreal, and the last two inversions, honestly the whole last finale is superb, like so intense. You're just thrown out of your seat on those airtime hills, and the last two inversions are amazing. Also, that first drop in the back row, that's peak.
By the time I was done with Wildcat's Revenge, I only had like an hour left until park close. The next choice for me was obvious. It was Sky Rush. This was my most anticipated coaster. I heard it was pretty intense, maybe even a bit too intense, and this really intrigues me. I ended up waiting another hour for this one, and I accidentally was in the front row line for whatever reason for my first ride, which I really did not mean to do, but it is what it is.
Sky Rush, that was actually insane. I got 3 rides, 1 in the front row, 2 in the back row. The back row is definitely the way to go. The first drop in the back row, that might be the most insane drop that I've ever experienced on any roller coaster. Like, it almost just feels dangerous. Like when you drop down that first hill in the back row, you're just going so fast up the lift hill. The lift hill, you go up so fast, and you just like get thrown over. That first drop is incredible, and then super intense low to the ground turn right after that. It's an intense ride throughout. That really exceeded my expectations. And that's going to cap off the preview night at Hershey Park. So tonight I did not ride as many roller coasters as I originally wanted to, and I'm okay with that. I'm at peace with that. Typically on, especially amusement park trips, but any travel trips, I set expectations like, oh, in order for this trip to be successful, I need to do A, B, C, D, and onward, right? And if I don't hit all of those checklist items, then the trip was a failure, and I feel like I'm not at peace with the trip. But I've been trying to get more to a point where it's not about the checklist, and I'm just trying to dive into the experience itself and stay present. And if I miss a couple of things on my checklist, it's okay. And I feel like I can still be at peace with my experience, even if I didn't hit even if I didn't hit all the things on my checklist. You know, I feel that expectations create pressure, and then pressure creates stress. And then even while you're on the trip, while you're at the amusement park, you can't even enjoy yourself because you're just stressed about hitting every single thing. So I've just tried to get to a more complacent point where I'm not just trying to check things off the checklist. I'm trying to just enjoy the moment and be present. Back for day 2 at Hershey Park. The weather is not very good right now. It was raining actually a lot harder this morning, but it is supposed to rain until the early afternoon, and it's quite cold. I think the feels like temperature is about 35 degrees, and it's gonna stay around that. area for the whole day. But yeah, really looking forward to getting a whole day at the park today. I do have Fast Track, which I don't remember the last time I've had Fast Lane to any of the parks, but it was only $50, so I was like, why not? All right, just got into the park. It's still 20 minutes until 11, but they let people in, which is dope. I also saw people riding Candemonium. That's kind of dope as well, so I'm gonna go over there.
Ended up getting 4 rain rides on this thing before the park even opened. And man, look at how nice this thing looks going around that fountain.
That is a really solid, fun ride. It's definitely not as intense or aggressive as the 2 other rides I did yesterday, but a ton of airtime. It just looks like a really pretty roller coaster. It goes around that fountain. I think it's called the Kisses Fountain. And the first drop from the back, I feel like this goes for like every ride here, was phenomenal. One thing that I will say though, that it was a little bit of a shaky ride. It's not the most smooth roller coaster.
After Candemonium, I wanted to do Storm Runner, but it was closed due to the weather, and actually a pretty good chunk of the rides are closed for weather, but man, thankfully Jolly Rancher Remix clutched up and was running. I've ridden a bunch of this type of roller coaster before, but this is probably one of the most well-known ones for its theming, and yeah, it's like a mini party in the station and throughout the whole entire ride.
Just got 4 rides on Wildcat's Revenge, some in the front, some in the back. It's running a little bit slower than yesterday, but honestly, that might make it even better. It was still flying through the layout, and you get hang time from pretty much all the inversions.
After I was done spamming Wildcat's Revenge, I saw that the Wild Mouse roller coaster was in front of me, and I was just so thrilled to have the honor and privilege of riding such a unique and glass smooth ride. But real talk, glad I got it out of the way early so I didn't have to wait for this later on. And now we are on to something here, Fahrenheit. To be honest, I wasn't sure if I would like this thing before I rode it. This coaster model, it can be a hit or a miss for me sometimes, but this one right here, yeah, this is a big hit. It's super smooth and it had me giggling throughout the whole entire ride. It was pretty wholesome.
Fahrenheit has so many positive G-forces. Like I think going down the first drop, I grayed out. You just get pushed way into your seat, and then it goes upside down so many times. Like I rode it 3 times, front, back, and middle, and I was trying to keep track of how many loops there were, how many times you go upside down, and each time I lost track. So instead of a ride sign, that looks like it's just a giant TV. That's a trippy ride. That's all I'm gonna say.
Alright, this ride right here was just not good, and to make matters even worse, it had 2 completely different tracks, so I basically had to ride it twice so I could say I rode the whole roller coaster. I don't know why I do this to myself.
That ride is so rough and it threw me around so much that voice control got turned on my phone mid-ride.
And the worst part of that voice control feature on the iPhone is that I literally never know how to turn it off. It always takes me like 5 minutes. Anyway, ooh, nice. Storm Runner opens. All right, check out this insane launch.
This launch right behind me on Storm Runner is impeccable. I mean, I sat in the front row. I did 2 rides. Sat once in the front row, once in the like 4th row, and in the front row, that's got to be a top 2 launch that I've ever experienced in my life. And the rest of the layout is pretty short, but you do one unique inversion that I feel like I've never done. It's like a double looping inversion. It's been a super productive day so far. I'm having my lunch, which is a nice, what are these called? Cliff bars, yes, a nice little Cliff bar here. It's really not busy at all. I think the weather, not many people really came to the park, which is great. I haven't even really had to use my fast track at all. I mean, I go through the fast track line, but it's just like no wait for anything. And it looks like we have another great ride here at Hershey Park, Great Bear. I feel like I've ridden rides very similar to that. This one had a very good sense of speed, even though I think it only goes 58 miles per hour. Honestly, felt like we were going 80 miles per hour. Maybe it was because it was a rain ride. Yeah, it started raining pretty hard, actually. One of the 3 times I was on it, and I was in the front row that time. It felt like we were like flying through all the elements.
Next up, we got the Kissing Tower. I love going on these observatory towers at the parks, and this one was pretty good as well. I especially like that it gives you a view of the surrounding area of the park. Like right here, you can just see the downtown area of Hershey. I think that's really cool. But yeah, probably still the coolest part of these observatory towers is just seeing the whole entire park laid out in front of you, and you can see it from way up above. It's always a cool sight to see. Did some absolute classics next. First off was Super Duper Looper, which fire name by the way, and this thing still definitely packs a punch even though it is a little bit older. And after I rode this, walked over to Comet. It rained for a bit, but then the sun came back and the ride opened. I've really grown to appreciate these older wooden coasters over the years. I think they're an absolute blast to ride. Oh yeah, and then I did this dark ride, which was fine, but it was actually the only ride all day that my fast track was actually useful for, so I guess there's that.
Got re-rides on Wildcat's Revenge, another front row ride on Storm Runner, and then ended it off with this beauty right here. It was running great. This is a really nice area of the park. You got 2 fountains right by Sky Rush, but the park is officially closed. I got over 40 rides today. It was absolutely an incredible day at the park.
All the fun the sweetest place on earth has to offer.
And that's gonna cap off the visit to Hershey Park. I enjoyed doing this new style of video where it's, you know, exploration with a little bit of introspection and some reflective thoughts thrown into it. So I think I'm gonna continue to keep doing these types of vlogs in the future. But yeah, if you enjoyed the video, feel free to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'm gonna keep exploring the world, and you should keep exploring the world too.